Well, welcome back to our channel, folks. Today we are going to be diving into a story that's heating up really fast, and it could have massive implications for the United States and also Latin America. Venezuela, under the iron grip of Maduro, is reportedly deploying 15,000 troops to its border, backed by drones and boats and aircraft, as U.S. warships close in on their coast. So the Trump administration has labeled Maduro as a terrorist, right? Which is no surprise. And the cartel kingpin, doubling the bounty on his head to a staggering $50 million. So what's really going on here? Is this a prelude? Okay. A show of force? Something else entirely? All right. So let's break this down. Here's the situation. Okay. The U.S. has sent 3 Aegis class guided missile destroyers: USS Gravely, USS Jason Dunham, and USS Samson, to the southern Caribbean, along with about 4,500 sailors and Marines, including the Iwo Jima Amphibious Ready Group and the P-8 surveillance planes. Now, some reports even mention a nuclear-powered submarine in the mix. This is the largest U.S. military deployment in the region since 1989 Panama invasion. And it's no small potatoes either. Okay, this was the stated goal: crack down on the cartels flooding our streets with fent and white powdery substances, particularly Venezuela's Tren de Aragua and the so-called Cartel of the Suns, which the U.S. says is run by none other than Maduro himself. So now let's be real, okay? Trafficking is a massive problem for us here in America, okay? It's not like it's something like, ooh, I didn't know about that, okay? Now, fent alone, okay, takes the lives of tens of thousands of our citizens every single year. And the cartels aren't just operating in some far-off jungle, right? They're connected to crime right here in our very cities. This administration is saying is enough is enough, which right on, yeah, because enough is enough, okay? Designating groups like Tren de Aragua as organizations and going after their leaders with military force. And Maduro, well, he's been indicted in New York federal court since 2020 for narco-terrorism and trafficking. Now, the U.S. claims that he is the head of the Cartel of the Suns, funneling substances into our country. Now, if this is true, now I don't know if it's true. I'm alleging that it's true. I don't know if it's true because I don't know the guy. You know, I'm not there. I'm not in with the crowd. You know what I mean? That makes him a direct threat to American lives. So, but, you know, here's where it gets dicey. Okay. Maduro is not taking this lying down. Okay. He's mobilized over 4.5 million militia members. Though, you know, let's be honest, okay, that number is probably inflated to boost his ego. More recently, his interior minister, Diosdado Cabello, announced 15,000 troops are headed to the Colombia-Venezuela border, backed by air and naval units to guarantee peace and stop any U.S. incursion. Now, Maduro is calling this a defense of Venezuela's sovereignty, painting the U.S. as imperialist bullies trying to topple his regime. Okay. But he's even banned drones in Venezuela's airspace for 30 days, maybe remembering that 2018 drone attack that nearly took him out. Too bad, so sad. So look, I mean, I get it, right? Nobody likes foreign wars or foreign powers meddling in their backyard, okay? I mean, we'd rather have gardens, but I'll go on. So let's not kid ourselves. Maduro is no saint defending his people, okay? He takes, you know, he doesn't give. He's an asshole. But this is a guy who has clung to power through rigged elections. Okay, it's how he got in the last time. All right. But, I mean, he's crushed, dissent and turned Venezuela into an economic disaster zone. I mean, he's a pig. He's a scumbag. But millions have fled his country, and now he's got the nerve to cry imperialism while allegedly running a drug empire. So, I mean, come on. It's not like, you know what I mean? I mean, the U.S. says it has seized like $700 million in assets tied to him, luxury goods, jets, bank accounts. Whether it's all legit or not, I don't know. It's not like I said, but it's hard to believe that a guy living like a king in a starving country isn't up to something shady. Okay? It's sus all the way around. So let's talk military reality, because I'm a military mom, so let's talk military reality. Venezuela's got some firepower. Okay? They don't have what we got, but I'll go on. They got the Russian Su, and that's Su-30 jets, S-300 air defense systems, even Iranian anti-ship missiles. They're not a pushover like Panama was in '89, but against us, it's David versus Goliath, okay? And David's slingshot is looking a little rusty. But the U.S. has overwhelming superiority. I mean, those destroyers alone can launch precision strikes from hundreds of miles away, and that's before you factor in the Marine Corps. Hoorah! So, I mean, and then we got the submarines, we got air support. Yeah, I'm saying. So, if this escalates at a shooting war, Venezuela's in deep trouble. But here's the thing. Okay, full-scale invasion would be a nightmare. Okay. Venezuela's terrain, its militia, and its allies like Russia, China, and Iran could turn this into a messy, drawn-out conflict. Think Iran, but in our backyard. Eating our tomatoes. And my squash. And my peppers. Don't touch my peppers. But anyway, so why is this happening now? I know you're asking that question, so I'll answer it. Some say it's about substances, plain and simple. Others think it's political. Trump's pushing a hardline stance, cracking down on the cartels, securing our border, flexing muscle ahead of 2026 midterms. And let's not forget Venezuela's oil. Yeah. They got the world's largest reserves, y'all. With tensions in the Middle East, that's a prize worth watching. Okay? No joke. It's a prize worth watching. On the flip side, okay? Flip side, flip the coin over, heads or tails. Maduro's using this to rally his base. He is. He's painting himself as the defender of Venezuela against Yankee aggression. Okay. First of all, you're not a defender, okay, of anything. Just saying. It's a classic dictator move. When your people are hungry, you point to an external enemy. Just saying. But here's what I lean in. Here. The U.S. has every right to protect its people from this crisis. And if Maduro is involved, he's not just Venezuela's problem, he's ours too. Yeah. The $50 million bounty, the warships, the sanctions, they're sending a message. You can't hide behind sovereignty while poisoning our streets, brother. Okay. Shh. That said, I'm not naive. Okay, military action comes with risks. A war in Venezuela could destabilize the whole region, drive more migrants to our border, give China and Russia an excuse to meddle closer to home. Plus, some folks like Mexico's president say there's no hard evidence tying Maduro to the cartels. If we're going to escalate, we need ironclad proof, not just accusations, they say. Oh, nay, guess what? We got receipts. Yeah, we do. Well, we got like 100 years worth of receipts. So, is war coming? Honestly, probably not. At least not right now. No. This feels more like a high stakes game of chicken. Yeah. The U.S. is showing its muscle, and we got lots of that. Maduro's puffing out his chest, or trying to, because he's got a chicken chest, but neither side wants full-blown conflict. Okay? The U.S. could be aiming to pressure Maduro into stepping down or cutting a deal while he's banking on nationalist fervor to keep his regime afloat. But make no mistake, okay, with warships and troops and a $50 million bounty in play, one little misstep, Mr. Man, and you could light the fuse. And if that happens, we're all going to feel the shock waves. Okay, so what do you think? Is the U.S. right to go after Maduro and the cartels with military force? Or is this a dangerous overreach that could backfire? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button. If you want more deep dives like this, subscribe to stay in the loop. Okay, the situation is evolving fast, so I will give you that. So I'll keep you posted. Until next time, stay sharp and stay safe. I will see you guys in the next time. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fearless and God bless. Ciao.